everyone. This is Tamara from shelfaddiction.com, and welcome to episode 8 and also the first episode of Pop Culture Sunday. Today I will be reviewing the book to movie adaptation, Me Before You. I will be stacking the movie up against the book, and as they always say, the book is always better. But is it? Let's find out. Before we start with the book itself and talking about the comparisons to the movie, let's play a little short movie trailer. This trailer is courtesy of Warner Brothers, and it is a snippet. It is not the full trailer. Take a listen.
The chicken factory.
I'm still having nightmares about those giblets.
With my beautician.
Turns out hot wax is not my friend.
I'm running out of options for you here, Louisa.
Please, I'll take anything.
This is new care and companionship for a disabled man.
Do you have any experience of caregiving?
I've never done it, but I'm sure I could learn.
Then it's going well. Will, this is Louisa Clark. Nathan will talk you through Will's routines and equipment.
You don't have to talk across me, Mother. My brain isn't paralyzed.
All right, there's the trailer, guys. If you have not checked out the full trailer, you really should. It's a really good trailer. And so let's jump right in. Before I begin the review, I do want to acknowledge that there are a lot of people out there that weren't happy with this movie because it deals with assisted suicide and some other things like depression. And they feel that the movie gives a negative message to those with disabilities. I am not here to argue that point or not. Instead, I am comparing this book to the movie, and I'm seeing how I'm expressing how I felt about the movie as an adaptation and whether or not I enjoyed it. So I hope you stay tuned in, and let's just jump right on in. First off, let me say that I read this book back in 2013, maybe October, I believe it was, if I'm remembering correctly. I did do a YouTube book review for this book. It was posted on my YouTube channel, so you can find it at youtube.com/shelfaddiction. I'll also have a link to that review as well. Following Me Before You, I did review last year the second book, which was After You by Jojo Moyes. That is a follow-up to find out, we kind of found out a little bit what happened to Louisa after the death of Will. So if you don't know what this book is about, it is about Louisa and Will. Essentially, Louisa is a out of work, person, and she needs to find a job fast. She is not really too skilled in anything. She doesn't have a trade or anything like that. So she ends up acting as a assistant, I guess, to a caregiver for Will Traynor, who is a quadriplegic man. Essentially, Will is not the best person to get along with, and Louisa struggles in the beginning, but before you know, they connect on a different level, and they fall into this unlikely romance that even in the book, I sort of found hard to understand at first, and even watching it on screen, I still kind of felt a little odd about it, but just like the character sold me in the book, the actor sold me in the movie. So let's talk a little bit about the actors. Emilia Clarke plays Lou. And if you don't know who Emilia Clarke is, you've been under a rock. She is the woman who plays Daenerys Targaryen on the Game of Thrones. So she is amazing in this movie. I was nervous at first when I saw she was cast because I wasn't sure if I would just see another version of the Dragon Queen or if she could actually change and transform into Lou, and she did a wonderful job with that. I'm happy to report she rocked it, and she seemed nothing like the Queen of Dragons. She was Lou 100%. She was endearing and quirky and sort of nerdy and a little unsure of herself and all these other things that Lou is in the books. Now, as far as Will, the romantic interest is played by Sam Claflin, and he is another kind of well-known actor. He's known to me from the Hunger Games movies. He's very talented, and he was really able to pull off Will's character. He's kind of like the golden boy, very athletic, charismatic, snarky, the guy that can do everything. He rides a bike, he surfs, he does everything you can imagine, and he looks great while doing it. That's Will all the way. He's a very abrasive and, I don't know, he's very a difficult guy to like, and somehow Lou breaks through that shell, and once she does, you start to see a different side of Will. So Emilia Clarke and Sam Claflin really pull off those characters, in my opinion. Not only that, but the other characters that were chosen for Lou and Will's family were really spot on, in my opinion. And I enjoyed seeing them as well. Not one character did I kind of say, wow, that was off. What were they thinking about? All of it just came together for me. Now, let's move on to the plot. The plot, in my opinion, was very close to the book. Again, disclaimer, it's been 3 years since I read the book. So the very details might be a little bit murky, but as I started to watch this movie, the book came back to me in full force. I feel like I was remembering, oh yeah, this happened, or wait, what about this? Or maybe this is missing, or that was missing. But the good thing is though, while there were some minor things changed, as you always expect with an adaptation, I didn't miss those changes. Like, for example, I recall that Will's parents had some trouble in the book. The father had like a girlfriend. I think the mother was either a lawyer or a judge. I think she was a lawyer. We didn't really see his sister. I think she was an older sister. And as far as Lou's side, we really didn't get the full idea of why her relationship with her family was the way that it was. We also didn't get her backstory, why she was the reason why she is the way she is now. And we also kind of didn't get the negativity really from her boyfriend like we did in the book. So those were some of the things that I noticed missing, but the rest of the plot in the movie was very strong and tight. So I felt that while those things were changed and not there, I didn't really feel that it was missing, Now, as far as the writing, and that may be part of why the plot was still appealing, is because from what I understand, Jojo Moyes is the screenwriter as well. And to my knowledge, you don't really see that a lot, where the author of the book is also the screenwriter of the movie. But in this case, she is. And maybe that is why I felt that it was, well put together, and the story was very cohesive and similar to the book. So good job, Jojo Moyes. You really did a good job with that. Now, another thing that needs to be pointed out is the soundtrack. The music of this movie is phenomenal. Music really weighs a lot in a movie, and TV shows as well. It takes you high when you need to be high. It gets you sad when you want to be sad. All those people that organize music and, do soundtracks, they have a skill. It is a skill to be able to emphasize what is going on in the screen, in your ears, and it really pushes that emotion that you want the audience to have. I will be downloading plenty of songs from this movie. So the romance part, like I was mentioning earlier, Lou and Will, they're not a likely couple. Even if Will was in his regular, before pre-accident state, they would have never been together. It would have been highly unlikely. But somehow they find each other, and somehow that romance works, and it's the backbone of this movie. It was a lot of serious things going on as well. It's not just a romance, or it's not just a sweet thing. He is a quadriplegic, and that comes with a lot of things to deal with. This movie brought along assisted suicide and depression, and like the fallout of how families deal with accidents, and the friends, and all the heavy things that come along with such a change in one's life. So overall, all in all, if you have triggers with those two things, I would not recommend this movie for you, because it will probably strike a chord in a way. But if you enjoyed the book, this is a must-see. If you like a little bit of tragedy and sadness with your romance, then you'll want to see this as well. Cue the tears and bring on the tissue sort of thing. It is very sad. You will be bawling. Well, not bawling. Tears were running down my eyes at the end of the movie. And I wholeheartedly expected it to be sad. But, I thought I would be able to hold it in. But somehow I was wiping my tears away before I knew it. So it's one of those movies. Just be prepared for that. Know it's, some complicated things going on. And just kind of not be too critical. You know what I mean? Just enjoy it. And like I said, if you enjoyed the books, you will enjoy the movie. So I gotta tell you guys, I rated the book 4 out of 5 bookmarks back when I reviewed it in 2013. I would still hold that rating up. I did enjoy the book, and I enjoyed the movie just as much. So I would rate the movie 4 out of 5 as well. It's something that I think I could see myself watching again in the future, and I definitely recommend it. So that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for listening and checking in with me and listening to me ramble about me before you. I do hope you have a chance to check it out, and please hit the subscribe button on Spreaker.com or subscribe wherever you get your podcast from, because I want you to stay in the loop whenever I post a podcast. So until next time, happy reading. Bye, guys.